On this week's art program, Famous World Art, we are visiting the fantastic museum called NAMASTE Viking. It is about the famous poet, painter and project maker, Mr. DANiEL FILLOD, who has been working with art for many decades. Now they made a fantastic museum of his art in Denmark, in karrebæksminde. And this is the first program shown about all this fantastic art made by Mr. DANiEL FILLOD. On the walls everywhere you see his printings, you see his paintings, you see his different materials of work. It shows very unique art from this Mr. FILLOD. Here you see a printing which is the only copy in the world. Beautiful woman playing together naked. And here you see what it all comes from, his unique technique of making printings. On other places you see his very famous new combination of poems and paintings. You see this little series of four different paintings. Mr. FILLOD is painting on everything, and in some way he's a partisan, a terrorist with his art. Here you see how he attacked a poor Viking who had put on his very new, very expensive jacket and painted it on his back. In other corners in the museum you see this fantastic little painting made from some pieces of stone from a wood skiffer, and down there on the floor you see a chimney he made in Denmark also. Here you have the very famous xylophone, the unique music instruments that DANiEL made for Mr. Barefoot. It's placed here in the corner, you can play on it, beautiful sound. And other corners you'll see his other fine kind of printings here, together with a beautiful view of the sea of karrebæksminde. We always have other kind of paintings here. Here you see this beautiful, right when you enter the museum, beautiful painting. And in the corner down here, this little stone which is painted, as he has painted a big stone outside the museum. DANiEL FILLOD is certainly a great painter, a great artist, a great poet. And you will see other examples now when we go to the next room in the museum. You will, for instance, see his strong influence from India and from old shit he finds and combine it. This is called Namaste, a beautiful printing on an old newspaper from 1938. And parts of the museum is painted too directly on the walls or on the mirrors. Here you see the ladies, les femmes, smiling to people at the museum on the mirror. We have also put up very comfortable chairs so you can sit and meditate here and watch the fantastic art of Mr. FILLOD. Here you see an old towel, dirty and with holes in. He sent up to us, very interesting. And to end up, we have some of his very great things. You see different kind of ways of expressing his art. You see his books, one book with small poems, another book is made about his birth. In the last room we see one of his great works. This is the one which is in a way dedicated to famous pianist Michel Petrucciani. It's called I Wrote You a Song, one of his famous compositions. We are certainly very happy to send this program from the famous NAMASTE Viking Museum in karrebæksminde of DANiEL FILLOD. See you next week.